everyone, and a warm welcome to the famous Silverstone circuit in Great Britain. I'm Jonathan Green, and this is the final round of our Trans Am Esports series. We are at the home of Grand Prix racing. This is where Formula One began back in 1950, and obviously now modern updates to the new West Wing have made Silverstone one of the most enviable places to run. Anybody in motor racing knows Silverstone, and this, though, is the first time the Trans Am in its 54-year history will run here. We've had 7 rounds so far, 14 races. There are just 2 to go, 2 drivers going out for victory, 3 points between them, and there's only going to be 1 winner. 2 races, a reverse grid for the second race, as always. And as always, with me, once again, is Ben Sissel. Ben, this is going to be fun. Just 3 points, but there's more to it than that because there's penalties.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here at Silverstone. Actually, Jonathan, I'm at Road America broadcasting the race at Silverstone, and I have the honor of being in the same room as one of our racers, Dylan Archer, and his dad, Bobby Archer, is just sitting to my left as we're watching this. And how much fun is, I don't think we could have guessed 7-8 weeks ago that the championship would be this good and this heated, 3 points away. And then we're going in with Tyler Cassera. I think he's 3 points down, right, Jonathan? And he's going in with a 40-kilogram weight penalty due to an incident last weekend at Bridgehampton with Ernie Francis. So, Jonathan, could explain everybody this championship and what all has unfolded in these 7 weeks.
Well, like I said, we've had 7 rounds, 14 races. There are 35 points to the winner and 75 points for the weekend. So you can get bonus points. We're watching qualifying right now, and we're looking at the man second in the championship, 3 points down, Josh Hurley of Livermore, California, who's had a spectacular run. And he, too, has a hell of a story because, like Dylan Archer racing at Road America, funnily enough, Josh Hurley is teaching one of our young Trans Am drivers still in single-seaters. He'll be at Mid-Ohio next weekend, Kent Vaccaro, and he's looking after him, but he's at Pittsburgh International Raceway, so he's actually on the Pittsburgh sim. So Hurley may not have a weight disadvantage like this man, number 4, to Tyler Cassera, but he does have a disadvantage because he's racing on a rig he's never raced before. He actually packed his perfect pedal into his suitcase, so at least he's got that. But he sent a picture on Twitter to show us his setup, and he seems pretty happy with it. And just watching practice earlier today, as we see Tyler Cassera come down the hangar straight, Josh Hurley was not showing any signs of being slow, or at least impeded by the fact that he wasn't using his own rig. And he's putting on a pretty good show. But this is Tyler Cassera, the man who leads the championship, but by only 3 points. And as you mentioned, he has a penalty of 40 kilograms. Now, I talked to him earlier in the week, and I said, so how much is that going to slow you down? And he said, you know what? I think it's going to be something in the region of 1/2 to 3/4 of a second a lap. So he's really got his work cut out. He's desperate to get the pole in this qualifying session. And so we will watch this battle between the number 3 and the number 4. All the greats have raced here at Silverstone, but now it's the turn of Tyler Cassera and Josh Hurley. And Ben, there's not just these 2 in the race. There's so many other guys. Because these guys have got the lion's share of the wins, there's a lot of guys who really want to just finish the season with a win.
Oh, yeah, I can tell you right now, Dylan wants to win this race. But Ernie Francis Jr., 6-time champion, is always up there. What I love about this esports e-racing with Trans Am is there's a group of 10 or 12 drivers that I feel like any time any one of them can win. And we've really seen a lot of talent. And then the great thing about the Silverstone, all season long, we've been talking about ending the season at Lime Rock. And I know that a lot of our drivers have been practicing Lime Rock for the season ender. And then we had to throw them a curveball due to scheduling, and we changed it to Silverstone. And now everybody had to really learn this new track. And we've seen some drivers putting in almost 300 practice laps at Silverstone this week.
Yeah, that's incredible. In fact, to once again, Scott Borchetta, 299 laps he's done around here. I think you worked out that's something like 600 minutes. So he's spent a full-time job doing the course, which is brilliant. But as we look at Josh Hurley, he's up against it, but he has proven, without a doubt, he did it last week, that it doesn't matter the circumstances, he is quick wherever he goes. He's taking quite some wide lines there. I noticed him through Cops, and as he came out of the exit of Stowe, as he goes into Vale here, this is a tricky corner and one of the best places to overtake, but the exit's tricky. You come onto Club, which is the last corner here, and go past the new West Wing, or the Wing as they call it, at Silverstone, the start-finish, which was revitalized in the 90s, and then they head, as Casera is now, to the famous Abbey and Farm curves, which are flat-out S's effectively, and then it tightens right up into Village, coming up now, and then you've got to get out of Village and into the loop to get onto the main straight, which is the Wellington Straight, and here it is, Aintree, and then you go a long run down the Wellington Straight, and it's important to get good drive. Now, there's Cop's corner. Now, this is going to be a controversial corner because you can go very wide there, and in the driver's briefing, it was brought up as to how wide they could go, and they're going to keep an eye on it, put it that way. Let's just say that. I think most people will know they can't, go into the fields and off to Whittleberry, but they can go wide now and again, and they won't be penalised. But as we mentioned, no penalties here because this is the final round, but time will be added for those that break the rules or are seen by the stewards to not be doing it fairly. But these guys have raced really well. I think that's the one thing that's impressed me more than anything, Ben, is just how well and how clean these guys have raced.
Yeah, it's been a great championship. And one thing I'm looking forward to, Jonathan, is honestly, of all the people in the show today, you probably know the track better than anybody. So
I do.
It's going to be an even playing field. Our announcer probably has been around Silverstone more than anybody racing in this series. And it's going to be really fun to watch with us leveling the playing field at the last minute and sending everybody to Silverstone.
Well, you're absolutely right. I have done bike schools with Ron Haslam around here. I have done car schools around here. And I've actually raced it and got beaten by Michael Schumacher, my claim to fame. To be fair, it was the British Grand Prix, it was the early 90s, and we were on bicycles. So he took about 20 minutes, and I took about an hour and a half. Yeah. So I can say I've actually raced Michael Schumacher at Silverstone. So that's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good claim to fame. But look at the times now as we're starting in 3 minutes left in qualifying. And it seems like a 2 flat is the target of where to be. But we've got Rydquist and Hurley just under 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Tyler Casera, I spoke to him earlier in the weekend, and he was saying that Rydquist is his hope, if you will. He's told Rydquist to go out there and win the race because it might help him in his battle with Hurley, because Rydquist obviously has been very quick. He's yet to win a race, though Rydquist is definitely one to watch out for, as is this man, number 98, Ernie Francis Jr., our 6-time champion. And while I'm talking about Ernie, if you haven't downloaded the SVRA or the Trans Am app, do so now, because you can catch up with all the details on all our drivers, all of Ben's interviews and Trans Am Tuesday, lots of fun stuff, facts and figures, the history, JJ O'Malley giving us plenty of information on that. And of course, we're going back to racing for real next weekend at Mid-Ohio. Can't wait.
Yeah, I cannot wait. We've got a great group. We were looking at the sign-up sheet for Trans Am, but we're also going to be there with SVRA, Formula 3, Formula 4, International GT. I think we have nearly 400 cars joining us from Mid-Ohio next weekend, and you can watch the races live on the Trans Am app Saturday and Sunday. We've heard the fans. They want to see practices and qualifying, and we're showing practices and qualifying Saturday and Sunday. Download the Trans Am app at the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Now, some movement here on the grid with just over a minute to go, as down towards Stowe comes Edward Savagian of Dallas, Texas, and he's just gone third quickest. Really good lap by Edward. Tyler thought he was sandbagging because he hasn't done a lot of practice, but he seems to be pretty sharp out there. And a 59.8 by Hurley. He's done it at just the right time. Josh Hurley goes to the top. Now, trouble for Casera. He's down in 4th place. He really, more than anything, wants to start on the second row or at least be on the front row with Hurley to get away well. So Casera's got to pull something out the bag here with 40 seconds to go. Here is your leader, Josh Hurley of California. A 159.8. It's been a sensational season so far for Josh Hurley. And he too looking for a drive in the real Trans Am, as is Tyler Casera. So anybody who is impressed by what they've been doing, keep an eye on these two, because they want to come racing both in 2020 and 2021, and all looking forward to that. So just a few seconds left, and it's Hurley, Ryquist. That's your front row provisionally. Savajian and Casera. Casera will start on the second row unless Southern's pitted. Archer could go quickest. What's the latest on Archer? Ben?
It looks like he's doing well, but Bobby had to go back over there and get over his shoulder. He's now over his shoulder. He stopped watching our broadcast, I think, to give a little bit of coaching or encouragement. But because you told me that you spoke to Casera this week, and he told you about his weight penalty and what he thinks that translates into seconds. Can you explain to the crowd what you think that is?
Yeah, he's basically got 80 pounds, 40 kilos, and he reckons it could be as much as 3/4 of a second per lap. And round a 2-minute lap, that's a lot of time. So we're really going to have to watch out. Hurley getting away through traffic there on his last run, but the clock has ticked down, and it looks as though Hurley will pick up the 3 points, and that's significant for pole position. If nobody stops Hurley, Ben, he will have pole, 3 points, and the championship will be tied going into our first race. How perfect.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the start of this race. And it's been like this all season long. They just keep going back and forth with points, and it's like that throughout the field. Then we have the next group of 3 or 4 drivers that are super close on points, and the next group of 3 or 4 drivers, and everybody just keeps trying to improve where they are in the standings.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really impressed. 394 apiece then. Silverstone is the setting. The final round of the E-Trans Am series presented by Pirelli. Ben Sissel and Jonathan Green about to bring you the action. Here is confirmation of the qualifying. 3 points to Hurley equals up the championship. We are dead level going into the final round. Ryquist gets a front row start. I think that's his first. Savajian, Casera, Southern, Archer, Francis Jr. Ben Yahia is in 8th position. Allen 9th. And Nick Racino rounding out the top 10. Borchetta, a really impressive run by Scott Borchetta. I think that's his top qualifying in 11th. Ricardo, Winston, Lopez, Parsons, Fine, Lostowski, and Rich White down in 18th place. We'll take a short break from Silverstone. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the home of British motorsport, Silverstone Circuit in Towcester, just outside the village of Silverstone. We're on the Buckinghamshire-Northamptonshire border. It's a fine and sunny day. They've actually declared it a national holiday because you don't often get the sun out in England. Here's your grid. We're about to go racing from Silverstone. Ryquist on the left, Josh Hurley in the black and silver number 3 on the pole position, and ready to go racing. It's a fast start here through Abbey and Farm, and Hurley needs to come across to the right as soon as he starts and not allow Ryquist to get through. Savajian in the red car just behind. The lights go on! Out go the lights and away we go! Good start from Hurley. Sensational start from Josh Hurley. Chocks away, as they say, at the old World War II RAF race field that is now Silverstone, but Hurley got away brilliantly, and now Rydquist will try and challenge round the outside at the very slow village corner and into loop. Oh, he gets a little nerf there and goes wide. Savagin will try and attack. Casera is looking for position as they go down the Wellington Straight for the first time. Good clean start, but Ben Hurley did it perfectly.
Yeah, what a great start. I've been super impressed with Carl Rydquist this season as he really tried to give it to Hurley, but everything looks like so far falling right into Hurley's lap.
Good start from Savagin. Just behind is Tyler Casera. Nerves jingling now. The points exactly the same. Both men, the leader of the race and the man in fourth, are on 394 points. There is also points for most laps led. So that's another accolade to go for, and another point for leading just any one of the laps, as Tyler Casera putting pressure on Savagin. But meanwhile, as we go on board with Tyler Casera through Copse, slightly wide there by Rydquist, but that's okay as we head towards the famous Maggots-Beckett's Chapel combination. Very fast, and these Trans Am cars using all their muscle. Look at this, it's third gear through here, and look at the oversteer that Casera's getting on cold tyres as he comes out of Chapel, down the Hanger Straight towards Stoke Corner. Casera fighting it hard, and look, behind him is both Archer and Francis Jr. What's the latest with Archer, Ben?
Archer, he's over there white-knuckling it. He's really fighting in a lot of traffic. And really, this could not unfold better because Rydquist and Savagin could be two of the toughest drivers to pass for Casera to get back to battling with Hurley one-on-one.
Well, there's a real battle going on. Archer's got Southern Jr. behind him, and just behind Southern Jr., JP Southern is Archer. Ben Yahia is there too. Allen is 9th, Racino 10th. They're all going for position. What a great race. Into Copse they go. And there's nothing between them. Really close stuff. And Dylan Archer putting on a show. He's got Dad's company, the real estate. I hope they're selling lots of real estate at the moment because they'll need it, because we're hoping that Dylan will go racing for real after this. He's just 18 years of age. Excuse me, he's 21. He was just 2 days ago. 21 years of age, so he's a former karter, but we want to see him in Trans Am. Good to see him here doing the Trans Am E-Championship, though. And as you say, Archer Brothers, esports.com. There you go, on the back wing there as they dive into the Luffield complex, through Brooklands and Luffield, and past the BRDC. There was a bit of controversy, complaints from the BRDC. Evidently, the noise of these muscle cars was rattling the windows and causing the odd gin and tonic to spill. And the BRDC members were a little aghast at that, but they haven't seen these muscle cars before, but they'll get used to it. But Hurley leads by 1.9 seconds now. Savagin putting pressure on Rydquist, and Casera holding station, still in contention in fourth position. Francis Jr. rattling away, the man from Florida in fifth. And then it's Southern, Archer, Ben Yahia in 8th, and then Allen and Borchetta moves up to 10th place. Scott Borchetta up into the top 10. That's really, really impressive by him. And he said to me in an interview a couple of weeks ago, all he wants to do is finish one of these races in the top 10. And I think he's got a chance to do it here as the man in front of him just went wide. That was Allen making a mistake. And wouldn't that be a story? And Ben, you know Scott, he hails from your part of the world, right?
Yeah, he's in Nashville, Tennessee, huge in the music business. And the thing I know about Scott, we said he put in almost 300 laps of practice. The guy is always working, whether it be race cars or the music business. He's a huge philanthropist, opening up and donating to new children's hospitals in Nashville all the time. I don't think the man sleeps.
Well, he certainly hasn't slept this week because he's been on that was right. Well, that was his teammate, Savagin, making a move there on Rydquist. Almost pulled it off as they go through this very slow section down through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. But Rydquist now is in trouble as we go back to Casera, who's got the pair of them just ahead of him as they go down the Wellington Straight. We're back on board with Tyler Casera now. And now you can see this straight. On the right-hand side of the BRDC, they'll brake hard here and then dive into the left-hander, into this Luffield complex through Brooklands, then into the right-hander, Luffield, and then opening these muscle cars up through Woodcote. Here we go, second gear, third gear now, opening it up to fourth gear now, and it's flat out all the way through the old pit complex to the right there, down towards the famous Copse. Michael Schumacher broke his leg at the exit of here when he went straight on from here. But you can see it's very fast. It's about 160 in a Formula One car. As Rydquist again goes very wide there, but he's using all the track and more. Fifth gear now for Cassera as he dives through the complex into Maggots. Now Beckett's got to get good drive out of Chapel here. And Chapel gets you, slingshots you effectively here onto the back straight, the hangar straight as it's called. And that takes you down to Stowe, which is still a very fast, over 125-mile-an-hour corner.
And Jonathan, I think we should cover the fact that Rydquist and Savagen are between Hurley and Cassera, who are fighting for this E-Series championship. But, you know, they're racers, and they don't want to do anything to affect the championship, but they also want to have the best finish that they can have.
Well, and don't forget, Ernie Francis Jr. is third in the championship. Fourth in the championship at the moment is Edward Savagen, and JP Sutton is only 7 points behind him. So there's a battle there as well. And likewise, Nick Racino and Dylan Archer, 9 points between them. So there's a lot of guys out for a lot of reasons to get as many points as they can.
Yeah, and Jonathan, if you don't mind, you're going to have to explain to this ignorant American what the BRDC is.
British Racing Drivers Club.
Nice.
It's a privately owned circuit. And my good friend Derek Warwick is the vice president. Damon Hill has been the president, but Silverstone remains today a private entity. It's not a government-owned or a conglomerate. It's his private club, and so you'll see sometimes racing drivers will have that BRDC sticker either on their hats or on their shirts, and it's a very, very elite club, and had to get some big dispensations to get Trans Am here.
Yeah, we appreciate them letting these V8s. They don't see many huge V8s like this.
Well, of course, the last time the Americans roared in to Silverstone was back in the days of World War II, because this was a World War II airfield, and that's how Silverstone came to be. It is effectively a disused airfield, and in 1950 they turned it into a Grand Prix circuit, and the first ever Formula One race was held here at Silverstone. So it's become synonymous with British racing for sure, but it's got a huge history, and anybody who is anybody has raced here, you name it, Hawthorne, Senna, Prost, the lot. And now it's a chance for Tyler Cassera or Josh Hurley to make his name as they head down once again towards Stowe Corner. Stowe named after the school, just about a mile in the distance over there. A really, really nice, beautiful school laid out there. And yeah, a lot of history here. And it's a shame. Bit of bad news. The traffic was bad coming in. A lot of people bringing their Vipers and their Mustangs in, and sadly the road's just too narrow to get these muscle cars through. So there's been quite a delay of getting everybody into the stands today.
Yeah, and it's such a technical track. Watching it, and I did get to do a few laps on Dylan Archer's sim, and this is really difficult. It is really fun, and I can see how it'd be so addictive. The racecraft is almost the same, but it's just a whole new skill set to learn to drive these tracks.
Yep, as we drive with JP Southern, the 18-year-old. He just graduated high school and is going to be attending Purdue University, where he's studying mechanical engineering and marketing. Now, there's a smart fellow, don't you think?
Yeah, and he's had a really good showing with this, with Stevens Miller Racing in TA2, and he's done really well. I expect to see him at the top sometime soon with our esports next season.
Well, what I love about JP Southern, and I'm sure John Claggett, the president of Trans Am, agrees with me, I've been watching JP Southern come through the ranks of karting. He was a national karter champion for many years. He then moved on to Formula 4 and Formula 3, and effectively was on the road to Indy, and he still hopes to do that. But Trans Am, he said, was the most effective and professional field ahead of him. He couldn't quite afford to keep going on the single-seater route, so he's come to Trans Am, and we welcome him with open arms. We have a lot of Xfinity guys and truck racing guys and K&N guys who are 18. I'm thinking of Christopher Bell and a few others that have come through and are now driving in the Cup Series. So Trans Am is a really, really good learning ground, because the competition is good, the professionalism is good, and it's good for young and old, so to speak, because you've got guys who are in their 40s, 50s, and then you've got 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and the like. Ben Ayer, just 19 years of age. There he is, and he is from Miami, Florida.
Well, to add to it now, Jonathan, with leading the 5th lap, Hurley is now guaranteed 2 bonus points for leading the most laps in this race.
Yeah, and look at the gap he's created, 3.8 seconds, and he's racing hard at Pittsburgh International Raceway. I told him to call JP Southern, the man you're looking at right now, who's all over Ernie Francis Jr., because JP, of course, is sponsored by the Pittsburgh circuit, so a good connection there, and so he's probably helped him set up the sim, or at least talk to the right fellows to help him out. But now Southern, in the 61, is all over the back of Ernie Francis Jr. Ernie, our 6-time champion at 22. Another fantastic story for Trans Am. Hasn't left the series since he began, and he's won. And in fact, next weekend, he heads to Mid-Ohio, where, would you believe it, Ben, Francis is unbeaten there.
Wow, that's quite a statistic.
Now, he hasn't always raced TA there. He's gone through the ranks of our championship, which has 5 different categories, but that's a pretty impressive record. And of course, next weekend will mark the 31st year of Mid-Ohio and Trans Am's connection, and I'll be talking to JJ O'Malley, our historian, about that as we head out into the real world. But I have to say, I've really enjoyed this E-Trans Am Championship. It's brought the community together. We've got some great racing out of it. UMG and the guys at Talk Motorsport putting on a great show for us. Look at the graphics, it's so realistic. It's like being there as we look back at Southern from Francis Jr. and JP all over him as they head through the Beckett's Chapel complex. Big grandstand there, great place to watch the racing, and the roar of these Trans Am cars will probably scare the golfers over at Whittlebury Hall just across the way there. Now JP looking to the outside. Now it's a right-hander. He looks to the inside. Under braking, can he do it? Oh, brilliant stuff. JP, do it, son. And that was great stuff from JP Southern. Where can you overtake at Silverstone? That's where you do it, at Stowe Corner in 4th gear. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was really nicely done, because it looked like he was trying to bait Ernie, thinking he was going one way, and then took the other way. And Ernie, knowing he can only do one basically blocking maneuver, basically needed to heat the corner to him. So it was good racing by both drivers. Yeah,
very good indeed. Josh Hurley still leading, Casera still 4th. So Hurley with the advantage here as we look back from Southern at Francis Jr. Now Francis Jr. under pressure from Archer. I think you should go over, seeing as you're in the same room, and give Archer a nudge and tell him to have a look up the inside at Stowe Corner coming up. Having said that, Ben Yahia is right there with Archer as well. So this is really good racing. 7 of the 9 laps gone. And don't forget, Ben, reverse top 10. Explain why we do that and how that has really given us some interesting racing.
Oh, it changes everything, because if you're sitting back there at like 8th or 12th position, you're now fighting for 10th position for the next race, because it flips the grid. So whoever finishes in 10th place, right, they go up to 1st place. And so right now, Casera at 4th, he probably needs to stay in 4th. He wouldn't want to fall back. But if he was 8th, he might want to fall back 2 positions.
Josh Hurley's plan is going absolutely spot on at the moment. He's got the bonus points for leading the most laps. He's got 3 points for taking the pole. So he now leads the championship, and Casera knows it. Now, at the moment, pole position will be Allen for the next race, as Francis Jr. again starts to make a way and see if he can get past Southern. This is not over, is it? I talked about Archer making a move, but Francis is coming back at Southern, and just behind, Ben Yahia is right there as well. This is really good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. So we got a 6-time champion, Ernie Francis Jr., with a rookie last year, JP Southern, hopefully a rookie in 2020 with Dylan Archer, and then coming with us with just the esports is Ben Yahia, and they're a really tight group as Francis takes it. And JP
Francis
Southern
does it. Back at you, my friend. Yes, so great stuff from Ernie Francis Jr. Oh, look at this! Excellent! Go on, JP! He bounces over the curbs, loses a bit of momentum, and Francis is trying to hold him off through Woodcote. Here they come. 4-way battle onto the main straight again. Southern goes wide, grabs it all together. Francis holding him off as they head towards the very, very fast Cops Corner. Flat out through here in 5th gear. Southern trying to get past him as they come towards the complex. And really, there's no way of... Oh, I say there's no way of overtaking, and Southern goes for it as they come out onto Chapel.
Ooh, and Archer got forced out wide, but it looks like he's able to hold on to it.
This is really good racing. And just one more lap to go after this, and here they go down the hangar straight. This is really fantastic stuff. And Southern trying everything he can to get past Francis. He's done it once. He's got to do it one more time. And look at that. Through goes Ben Ayer on Archer. Archer in trouble. Give him a nudge, Ben.
I'm trying, but he is over there sweating, white-knuckling it. We've had to turn off the air conditioner in here, so it's gotten quite hot, and he's feeling it. He needs a cool suit on in his sim.
I think he does. Ben Ayer in the number 9, the blue and black, has done a good performance. He only joined the championship about halfway through, and he's only 19 years of age, so he's not raced in real world Trans Am ever. So this is quite a thing to take on, not only sim racing, but also the big muscle of these TA cars, and really impressive actually from Ben Ayer. But Francis Jr. has done it, and he's got through, and now as they head through the complex and now back onto the back straight, Ben Ayer will get a chance of having a pop at Southern, and the best opportunity is after this bridge coming into Stowe Corner. We're on board with him now, and here he'll look now towards the inside and try to outbrake Southern. That's what he does, and he's done it. Well, Southern knew it was coming, and he gave him the room, but that was a clean, good move by Ben Ayer.
Yeah, that's been really impressive. He's had a really impressive last 2 laps racing cleanly with our car.
Southern thought he could come back at him, and he still is. He's still thinking it. And he's done it! Oh, JP, great stuff. I've never seen this much overtaking at Silverstone. This is superb. Into Cops they come. Final lap now. Race 1, the final rounds of our Trans Am Championship presented by Pirelli. And this is a doozy. It's been this way. We've been to Spa, we've been to Laguna Seca, we've been to Road Atlanta, we've been to Daytona, and we've even been back in history to Riverside and Bridgehampton. It's been a fun-filled 8 weeks of racing, and it's been pretty intense, but right now, the pendulum is swinging towards Josh Hurley. At the start of this race, Hurley and Casera were on equal points, but it's certainly not over yet. We've got a reverse grid, so these two, Hurley and Casera, will start 8th and 10th at the looks of things. So there's going to be a lot of work done by both of them, and that's where it's going to get critical, because the start of the second race will prove to be possibly the winning championship lap.
Yeah, and Archer and Racino are going to be starting, 3rd and 4th, if it finishes like this, and they're battling out in points right now as Bobby Archer goes to his trailer to get a cool shirt for Dylan.
Yeah, no kidding. So Hurley on his way. There's the gap. You can see it, but Hurley is in a world of his own. The number 3 is way out in front as he comes under the Trans Am Pirelli bridge for the last time on his way to victory. Josh Hurley racing from Pittsburgh, not at home in California. It's been a bit of an up and down week. He's out teaching and coaching at the moment, Pittsburgh, so he's had to borrow a sim, which luckily Pittsburgh International Raceway, thanks to them, have given it him. So we'll give them a shout out, because Josh Hurley is on his way to victory. He comes out of the final corner, club corner, and Josh Hurley is in the club. They might ask him to be in the BRDC as he wins at Silverstone for the first time. Josh Hurley of California wins another race in our Trans Am Championship. Casera crosses the line in 4th place. Good job with that weight penalty, and he does make a good dash of points there. He beats Ernie Francis Jr., who crosses the line in 5th, who beat the battle with Southern, and finishes 7th. And look at it, it's donuts! And brilliant stuff. Josh Hurley, not to be outdone. He'll get, I'm sure the BRDC won't be very happy with that.
Yeah, how are the British going to take these very American pompous donuts?
You would say it's just not cricket. So never mind. He'll take them all out to dinner, I'm sure. By the time the 3rd pint's gone down at the pub, nobody will remember.
Well, where does that put us in points, Jonathan?
Well, as far as I can see, well, there's no question that Hurley leads the championship now because they were on level pegging. So I would have said that gives. I'll have to check.
And I didn't see anything that would take points away. I didn't.
No.
Nothing on our broadcast showed that there was any dirty racing by anybody of consequence. So it looks like it's going to be Hurley having the advantage going in.
No question. So as we look down on Silverstone and it goes back to silence again, it's just the sheep you can hear in the distance now. We take a look at the results of the first race, won by Josh Hurley, who now leads the championship. He picked up all the bonus points for pole position, most laps led, and of course winning the race. And so that has definitely put him in the top seat. I'll tell you what, if he'd have been around in World War II. They'd have had him as a Spitfire pilot the way he's driving. Brilliant stuff. So, calm descends upon Silverstone. A great race, yeah, no question about it. Confirmation then of the result of race 1. Josh Hurley of California wins again and takes the championship lead. Carl Rydquist of Sweden takes second place. Savagin of Texas takes third. Casera of Mannheim, Pennsylvania takes fourth. Then it's Francis Jr. of Florida fifth. Southern in sixth. Ben Yahia in seventh. Archer, Racino, Allen, and Borchetta just outside the top 10. He's got one more chance to get into the top 10 before the day is over. We'll take a short break. We'll be back from jolly old England after this. Welcome back to Silverstone Circuit in Great Britain as we look down on a beautiful sunny day here. Wimbledon getting ready, and of course, this is the home of British motorsport. Many a great race has been held here. In fact, the first ever Grand Prix held here, and I'm dutifully informed that Hurley now leads the championship by 429 points to Casera's 417. Now, just in case there are some penalties, that is provisional, but it does mean that Hurley is in absolutely the box seat now to go all the way and take the championship here in England. The grid is formed up, but it's a reverse top 10, which means this man, Allen, is on pole position, and it's also a chance for the number 33, Racino, yet to win a race, to go for it. And I know, having spoken to him, he will be. Here we go! Off they go! Good start from the leaders. Allen gets away very well indeed. Nicely done, and Racino did not get the start he wanted. Archer got away well. Archer up to third place. He's got Ben Yahia alongside him, but Archer squeezes through. Brilliantly done by the youngster, the 21-year-old, up to third place. Now he's got a chance of a podium. He is a race winner. Southern comes alongside for a moment. Just a little dab there. They touch for a moment, but I think Southern's got through. He has. Ben Yahia coming back. Francis goes wide. Devagin's in the mix. All sorts of drama. Hurley tried, oh no! Hurley putting it by, kissed the girls and made them cry. Wow, that is just incredible stuff. Somehow Hurley avoided that absolute Hurly-burly and manages to keep going. That was a big moment, and look who's behind him. Tyler Casera. What a finish we've got on our hands, because that was a massive moment for Hurley there. He might need a new cool suit or some new overalls after that.
Yeah, and that was Rydquist spinning, and we don't see that very often from Rydquist. He must have been hit by somebody.
Yeah, I think he did. I think they all went wide at the corner at Aintree, and I think there was some touching there, and Rydquist got turned around. Ben Yahia is okay. He's behind Racino, who got away well. He's in third place, but it's Southern in second now. Allen leading the way. Really impressive indeed.
Yeah, and I don't know what the strategy is here. That Hurley's going to press on, but without trying to take too many chances, with Casera right behind him. But look at the field of cars that they would have to work through to get to first place. That would be a nearly impossible feat.
And I tell you what, with Lawless Allen leading the way, another youngster that's been part of Trans Am for a couple of years now, but he's still making his way up. Southern just 18 years of age, Ben Yahia 19. So it's really great to see the youth coming through and being so strong. Now, we kind of expect them to be good on sims. We'll see if they can do it in the real world at Mid-Ohio. If you haven't got the download yet and taken the app, you should, because we're going racing next week for real.
Yeah, Lawless Allen was actually our TA2 Rookie of the Year in 2019, and he just impressing the Trans Am drivers with his talent.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm going to keep an eye on Racino. He really wants this. He's in 4th at the moment. He's got Benya here just ahead of him. There's Archer just behind. And then comes Hurley. Hurley and Casera locked together in battle in 6th and 7th at the moment. They've got Francis Jr. behind them in 8th, Parsons 9th, and Servajan, Edward Servajan, who's had a really good run in these 8 rounds and 16 races. He's been ever constant, and I think he's got 1 race win, and really impressive stuff. Cameron Lawrence is another man. He's not racing today, but he got a win at Road Atlanta, and the rest of the wins really have been between Casera and Hurley. On board now with Francis as he heads down the old straight. I say the old straight because that was where the pit complex was on the old version of the track, into Copse Corner, flat out in 5th. Look, he just drops down to 4th under traffic to turn in there, but that's very quick. That's over 130 miles an hour through there. Then comes next, it's Maggots, 5th gear going into there. Then you hard on the anchors, and it was funny listening to Archer say, oh, it's very similar to COTA. Well, COTA was designed on this exact complex.
Yeah, it was funny listening to Dylan, because he was saying that if you get 1 turn wrong, you don't miss that turn. You miss the whole next sector.
Yeah.
You've got to get everything just right. It's a very technical course.
Yeah, it is. It's a flowing course, but it's deceptive because it's 3.6 miles long. So once you get out of the flow, you could lose maybe a second and a half by just making 1 mistake that you just cannot get back in the lap time that you've got. So it really is interesting. Look at this. It's really going off here now. Southern back in the battles again. He just got nudged wide and turns round. JP does a pirouette at Woodcote. Not often seen that before. That'll give the crowd a thrill, but it won't be what JP wants. Lawless Allen does a 2:03.2. He's putting the pressure on. The gap is 0.3 at the moment. Casera ghosting the man in front of him, Josh Hurley, and Casera now will basically be just trying to beat Hurley in 1 race. And remember, Casera carrying the extra weight, Hurley on a spare rig.
Yeah, there's been drama week after week in this series, but what I love is it's been a great series to watch. All of our drivers are having a great time. The camaraderie in our virtual paddock has been really fun to watch. But now here we have the youngsters really showing these drivers how to do it, with Lawless Allen up front, Ben Yahia, and then just spun JP Southern. But JP Southern, I would expect him to be in the running for the 2020 Rookie of the Year in TA2.
Yep, and don't forget, the results at the end of this will be provisional. We expect to call it that way, but the stewards will take a good... Oh, here comes Casera around the outside of Hurley. Superbly done out of Woodcote. And into Copse they come, and Casera is past Hurley. Wow, good racing. Now, what you may not know is these two have been discussing tactics on Discord all week. They've actually become good friends, and they're very similar in their approach to racing. Both of them coach. Both of them want to race in Trans Am for real, and both of them have really shown a really, really good sim expertise over the last few weeks. But that was an excellent overtake at Woodcote from Tyler Casera. Chose his moment well, and through he goes on his arch rival. More battles here. Benya here in the number 9 gets turned around by the 25, and both cars go off, and that's a real shame. And that was Lawless Allen, who's gone from leading to being spun around. So into the lead goes Archer. Ben, don't get nervous. The man in your room is leading.
It was funny because I saw Bobby Archer's hands going up, and he was trying to silently cheer. But look at how Casera and Hurley have worked it. They were in 7th and 8th through a really tough field to pass, and somehow now they're up to 2nd and 3rd place, with Dylan Archer up there with a pretty good lead, at 2.5 seconds ahead of Casera.
Casera shaved his head 2 rounds ago, and I'll tell you what, he's getting some aerodynamics now. Even with the extra weight, he is flying. Benya here, still fighting. He's got Servajan behind him and Ridequist by the looks of things. No, in fact, that's Parsons. So, all sorts of battles going on. Benya here, though, the 19-year-old looking back to Servajan.
Ridequist has worked his way up.
Parsons, yeah.
how did Rydquist get up to 6th place? He dropped down to like 12th after that spin. So
well, he's done a good job. JP Southern's got back going again. Look, there he is. And he is now weaving his way through traffic. As you say, that is a brilliant job by Casera and Hurley to go 2nd and 3rd, to think that they'll be on the podium. The social distance podium, I may add. But yeah, great stuff. And they're all expecting to head back to London after this for a night out at the Playboy Club.
Yeah, and this weekend, actually, Casera and Hurley are racing from the same state, which hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, Archer, the 21-year-old, and just explain, Ben, I mean, you were talking about his dad, but he's not just a dad, he is also a Trans Am legend, as is the whole family.
Yeah, Bobby Archer, Trans Am legend, lots of different race series legends. His brother, Tommy Archer, Trans Am and race series legend. Tommy's actually done laps at Silverstone, and both of them, Bobby's been over Dylan's shoulder, helping him out, watching him, coaching him as best he can, and then Dylan gets on the phone and calls his Uncle Tommy for suggestions on how to handle Silverstone.
Yeah, that must be nerve-wracking having your dad standing right over your shoulder while you're racing. Not easy at all, but he's doing a good job. Now, let's have a look at the lap times. I think Hurley and Casera are trying to work almost together to try to catch up with the man leading Archer. Archer under massive pressure. He's got Ben calling the race just over the other side of the room. That can't be fun either. And a whole bunch of people watching in the press room at Road America as the SVRA gets underway at Road America. And, of course, we'll be going to Mid-Ohio next weekend, so join us then if you haven't downloaded the app. Go for it now as we take a look at Scott Borchetta in the thick of things. Borchetta 12, but he's got a chance of a top 10. That's all he wants. Got a chance to do it too. He's got 2 guys in front of him. He's got someone behind him. Who's that?
That's Lawless Allen.
That's Lawless Allen trying to make his way back through. Well, maybe Borchetta can maybe follow Allen, who is probably the quicker of the 2 of them. As we look at Archer, look at the gap. Casera's coming and coming fast. This is really heating up. Halfway through this final grand finale here at Silverstone. Couldn't be a better venue, and we've got a race on. It's young Archer against Casera and Hurley.
Yeah, we saw the last race. The same thing happened late in the race, and Dylan Archer was probably a little bit too polite and let these guys go by, but I know that he really wants a win here today at Road America and Silverstone at the same time with the 2 champions right behind him.
Well, you went down to his pit between races and you spoke to him and you told me he was disappointed after the first race.
Yeah, he was disappointed and Bobby was a little bit disappointed, but they knew where they could make up time and it looks like they put a good plan together.
Well, Archer doing a really good job of holding off for the moment Casera and Hurley. And I think that Hurley is not going to battle with Casera because there's a chance that one of these 3 could win the race, and I would love to see it go all the way to the final lap, and I think it's going to. The question is now, where would you go and make your overtake? Casera did a brilliant overtake on Hurley here last time out.
Yeah,
go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to, when we get a break, Tony Pirelli is sitting right next to me. I want to ask him about this Esports, but we got to stay on board right now.
Oh, yeah.
This race
Good to have Tony Pirelli, of course, who runs the SVRA. If you haven't been to an SVRA event, it's one of the finest things you could ever do in motor racing. A fantastic display of hundreds of vintage cars, and they really push them through their paces every weekend. Tony's done a great job and got everybody going again at Road America, and we will continue through the rest of the summer and autumn. Which they come. Tyler Casera all over Archer now as they head past the BRDC. Quick wave to the ladies in the BRDC and a quick tap as Casera hits the back of Archer. Here comes Hurley. Well, Archer, if he wasn't aware of Casera, he is now. Through Luffield and Woodcote they come. Whoa, what a race.
That was a great save by Archer, and as soon as that happened, I saw his wrist just snap. That wheel really took him. I don't know how he held on to that, but now, you got to think that Hurley's just hoping for something like that to happen again.
Yeah, and Casera has recovered well, too, because that could have put him in trouble as they go through Copse again, flat out, towards the Maggots Beckett's left and right. 5th gear, down to 3rd now for the tighter Beckett's. And then back on the muscle power for Chappell. Oh, and onto the grass goes Archer. He's made a huge mistake at Chappell, and he should pray for forgiveness because Chappell has undone him. Chappell has undone him, and he won't be singing to the choir after that one. What a shame, but Archer somehow holds on. Well, a gift from the gods, you might think.
Maybe, and man, I'm watching over his shoulder, and this is such a physical track. He is just really exerting a lot of force on that wheel, trying to keep it together. He's looking in his mirrors a little bit. There's so much pressure on him right now.
Well, I've never seen anybody make that big a mistake at Chapel and recover, but he's done it. How, I'll never know, but that was really excellent driving by the 21-year-old. I bet Bob's having conniptions right now because it's all going on, and now they rebuild again. 7 of the 9. Here comes Hurley in 3rd place. Francis Jr. and Racino, they've got their own battle going on in 4th place. So it's all going on here. The top 3, there's Francis Jr. in 4th place. He's really going on with Racino, who really wants a pop at the 6-time champion. But Archer recovers well. His heart must be going. I'd go and check. Go and get him a glass of water at least, Ben.
Well, I'm here with Tony Pirelli, majority owner of Trans Am, and he is scratching his hands. He's nervous too. Tony, when this whole COVID-19 thing happened, you and John were able to put together this esports thing. Have you been impressed with it?
Oh my God, how could you not be? And honestly, this has been John's baby. Like I did. Took the cradle today, and it's so neat to see the position and hard these guys are working at this. Really, a youth following is definitely part of our.
Nice. I love it. Thanks, Tony. He says it's definitely going to be part of our future moving forward. So that was really cool. And I know Tony's loving it because he's over here nervous with me.
Yeah, and talking of the future, Francis Jr.'s future just took a different turn because while he was in 4th place and battling, while Tony was talking, we saw that Francis Jr. was actually on the grass. So a mistake by Francis Jr. from 4th place has changed the battle there. And now Racino goes to 4th place. Rydquist is back up to 5th despite spinning. So a great result for Carl Rydquist of Sweden and California. And here is the battle for the win, though. Looking back from Casera, this has been a view he's been looking at throughout most of the last 8 weeks, and it's Josh Hurley all over him.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with the composure that we have from Dylan Archer here, and he's been working all weekend trying to make sure that he's in a TA2 car in 2020, and I don't see why he can't be. He's obviously the talented driver. He's got some great coaches, great teams, and I expect to see him in 2020, and I hope to see Casera and Hurley in 2020 because we've been nothing but impressed with the talent in this esports series.
No question about it. And if you look at the lap times too, I mean, we got under the 59s, 2 drivers got in under the 2-minute mark, but right now they're all dead on 2 minutes, so they're almost pumping in qualifying laps in the race. And that's pretty impressive, especially from Casera carrying that extra rate. Down the straight they come. This is going to be important for Josh Hurley. Can he get a slipstream here? 2 big straights, the Hangar Straight and the Wellington Straight. And then into Brooklands and Luffield. And then opening up towards Woodcote, which is where Casera made his move last time. Will he have a go? Archer here. Don't think he's close enough this time as they come back onto the main straight and down, flat out, up to 5th gear now, down towards Copse. Flat out in 5th, now down to 4th. And on board with Hurley, smooth as you like, really nice and impressive. And slightly wide there by Casera on a different line. And he's lost a little bit of ground to Archer there. And this is very important stuff. Now, this is where Archer made his mistake on the exit of here and into Chapel. He doesn't do the same again. And just avoids the grass this time. Casera going slightly wide. Down the Hangar Straight they come and under the bridge. Very fast down here. Over 160 miles an hour. The roar of Trans Am in England as Archer dives into Stowe at 125 miles an hour. Down towards Vale. Very tight indeed. Possible overtake into Vale. We've seen it happen with Southern. Casera, though, is not close enough this time round. Time running out, though. Into Club Corner next.
Jonathan, what a great race this is. Could we have imagined this 8 weeks ago, what this championship would turn out to be? And I think right before our eyes, we're making some future Trans Am careers with this esports series.
And some future stimmers too. Even the game guys were saying, look, they're really impressed with how clean the racing is. Sim racing is quite different than the real thing. You go by your seat of your pants when you're in the real car, whereas this is very technical, and there's certain things you just can't do that you would do in a real car. And obviously with things like netcode, when you get too close, you've almost got to create your own bubble around the car to make sure that you don't actually come together with another driver, and that's what these guys have done so well in the game. They're racing all over the United States right now, including Road America, where Ben is, and each one of them has their own setup and their own way of going about practicing. We've had a whole week of practice here at the Silverstone circuit. We had a last-minute location change just to rattle things up a little bit, but everybody went for it. And Silverstone, wow, you couldn't get it much better than Silverstone. Into Cops then for the last time. Got to be careful to keep it tidy through here. Archer on his way to his second victory. I'm trying to remember where he won. Was it Spa?
Spa, the second race of Spa.
Yeah, so this would be a real accolade. Well, he could join Formula One after this. He's already won Spa and Silverstone. That's pretty impressive. Now, can Hurley have one more go at beating Casera? Because that's really what this is about. It's about pride now. Hurley is on his way to winning the championship, I think.
Yes, as it stands right now, if it stands like this, Hurley will have won the championship by 10 points, unofficially.
Yeah, I'm going to say, obviously that's unofficial. We'll see what the stewards say afterwards, but I haven't seen anything that's controversial in my mind. There's a few slightly wide moments, but that's about all. There's been no jiggery-pokery, I don't think, and I think that Archer certainly has led right from the get-go, pretty much. Lawless Alan led early on, he then made a mistake, and then Archer picked it up, and from there on in, he's never looked back, and here he comes to wins at Silverstone and Road America, and I can hear the crowd in the press room, Ben. Well, you've got to go and interview him now. You've got to get him over for an interview.
I think, Jonathan, I'm going to bring him over. I'm going to give him my headphones and let you interview him as doing his championship donuts. So we're crowning a champion. We've got a new winner. Like you said, he's won at the Formula. Maybe he should just go to Formula One because he's won at 2 Formula One tracks.
Josh Hurley is your Trans Am champion, and the donuts are free for everyone. Get your coffee and come on down to the pits and join us. Archer wins the race. Hurley finishes on the podium, and Casera, despite the wait, puts on a brilliant display of racing. And the Archer dynasty continues. Tommy, Bobby, and now Dylan at 21 just 2 days ago. He's been practicing. He's not at home like everybody else. And he's had to do it the hard way, but he's done it superbly. He didn't flinch when he was hit from behind, remember, by Casera. And he still kept going. And that's really what I want to talk to him about, is what happened.
Keep in mind that he's here at Road America as a crew for Jerry and his Dodge Viper. So he hasn't been able to do much time practicing at Silverstone. He's been out changing tires and crewing for one of our race cars. But what a showing from Dylan Archer. But I especially want to put out there Tyler Casera, Josh Hurley. Been very impressed with those guys. What a great championship run. John Claggett, Trans Am Series. Thank you so much for doing this. UMG Esports. But I'm going to get Dylan over here, Jonathan, and let you talk to him if you don't mind.
That'd be great. And I just want to remind, if you haven't downloaded the app, don't forget, gotransam.com for all the information. Amy Greenaway will be putting up information there. JJ O'Malley has got the history of Trans Am each day on our website. We've got some great apps. There's confirmation then of the results. Dylan Archer with the win. Superb win too. Casera second and Hurley third, as it should be. Ben Yahia, a latecomer to the series, but still in fourth place. Rydquist recovered from a spin and takes fifth. Racino sixth. Servagian in seventh. Southern, Francis Jr. at ninth. He too recovered. Lawless Alan, who led, has got a 10th place. And another brilliant 11th place by Borchetta. Lopez, Parsons, Accardo, Fine, Winston, and Lostolski in 17th place. So, great racing in race 2.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm here with a very sweaty Dylan Archer, like he's just getting out of a race car. He takes off his cool shirt, and now he's here to talk to you.
All right, Jonathan. Hey, brilliant stuff, Dylan. First of all, happy birthday. And secondly, what went through your mind when you were hit from behind?
Well, I know he didn't mean to do it on purpose. Casera's a really clean driver, and I know that do something like that intentionally. But my main focus was just to keep the car under me and try to stay ahead of him. And then going through the S section, I went wide and decided I kind of had to cut that corner, which actually slows you down quite a bit going through there. But yeah, I was just doing my best to keep him behind me, and I was able to do that, unlike last week. So
Well, listen, the British press are hot on your heels. They're banging on the door right now. They want to know one question. Are you coming to race Trans Am for real?
Yes, sir. We will be there.
Right, that's the question we answered we wanted. The Archer dynasty continues. Dylan, congratulations. Have a great weekend at Road America and great racing. Really, really good show.
Thank you so much, sir.
Happy 21st birthday, Dylan.
Ben, final thoughts from you?
I don't think we could have scripted a better esports championship season. Really great racing for everybody. We've seen improvement every week, and that was just a lot of fun to watch. And I appreciate and honored to be announcing Trans Am races from all these beautiful tracks.
I couldn't say anything more than that. It's been fantastic. From Laguna Seca to Road Atlanta to Riverside and to Bridgehampton. We've been everywhere. Spa and now Silverstone. And Josh Hurley has conquered it all and taken, quite rightly, our first E-Trans Am Championship. He will take that Trigon trophy and prizes of up to $20,000 worth, I'm told. My thanks to John Claggett and to Tony Pirelli for putting this on for UMG, Talk Motorsport, and everybody involved in this fantastic Sim E-Championship. It's been a lot of fun to do. My thanks to Ben Sissel. I'm Jonathan Green. If you enjoyed that, why don't we do it for real next weekend at Mid-Ohio? See you there.